Yes, a win at last for Aston Villa. It didn't come in the most spectacular fashion, but we'll take it. A 1-0 win over Bologna in the Europa League. Got the job done. And we'll cover the talking points of last night's action and a little preview ahead of Sunday's game. Another game at Villa Park at home to Fulham. Can't wait for it. So hopefully that is the springboard to kickstart Villa's season. And like I say, it didn't come in the most spectacular fashion, but all Villa needed last night was a win, and we got it. And to be honest, I was expecting a bit more from Bologna last season. It was quite a similar performance from them to what we've seen last season. Pretty tepid. Never really looked like they were coming to get 3 points at all. But Villa did the job, and in the first half, I do think we should have got more than the one goal. Probably could have been 2-3 up by half time. Bologna crept back into it, although they did seem to edge the stats. If you look at the stats, they had 17 shots to our 12. 7 shots on target from them to our 4, 54% possession. We've seen Villa tend to dominate possession over the last few weeks and the start of this season anyway. But last night, Bologna did edge it, but we got that early goal. They're chasing the game. They're always going to end up trying a lot of shots towards the end of the game. So I wouldn't really read too much into that. I do think Villa deserved the win. And I think it could have been more convincing, particularly with Ollie Watkins missing a penalty as well, which we'll talk about today. Again, scoring a goal, winning a game, it feels good, doesn't it? It's been a long time since we've said that, but yeah, it was great to get down Villa Park. Those European nights, I always love them. About 35,000 in there last night, which obviously that has been criticised, the attendance. Again, I do think Villa have overpriced these Europa League games. I think the ticket's up to like £61 if you're a non-season ticket holder. It's expensive. Again, like we all say, the age-old question is going to be there. What about the people on the waiting list? People will be moaning when if we get to a quarter-final, semi-final, final, they'll all be wanting tickets, and that is true. But I do understand it is difficult for people to pay out that kind of money, especially when the league games are so expensive as well. So everyone's got their own circumstances, but I don't think it was a bad crowd. Yeah, you'd like to see it full. It wasn't the loudest atmosphere, was it? But again, Villa aren't playing the most thrilling football at the moment. I did think it was a little bit better yesterday, so hopefully that is the springboard to kickstart our season, like I say. But that McGinn goal was a great strike, wasn't it? He scored again against Bologna. He scored against them last season as well. Great strike. He really kind of just caressed it into that corner, didn't he? Nice, and he didn't smash it. He just put it nicely into that bottom corner, and I thought it was a really, really good goal. And that early pressure from Villa paid off. Marlon was busy. He could have had a goal as well. Yeah, there was a couple of chances in it for Villa, and like I said, I do think we could have been 2 or 3 up by half time. It was an impressive first half. I thought Buendia as well. I thought Buendia was pretty lively in that first half. And yeah, we got the goal. It was 1-0 up. Bit disappointed to not have more by half time, but yeah, I was enthused by that first half in particular, and I thought Boubacar Kamara was a monster of a performance from him yesterday. Arguably between him or Bizot for man of the match. I think Bizot took the rating. If you look at those kind of match ratings of like an 8.7, 8.8, I think because he did make 7 saves, but I think watching more of it, I do think Kamara was an absolute monster in that midfield, and probably would have to give him man of the match in all honesty. Again, the big talking points, we may as well get into it at the start of the video, is of course Morgan Rogers. He did have another stinker yesterday, didn't he? He's trying a lot. He does want the ball. That's one thing I'll always give him. He doesn't shy away from it. He always wants the ball. He's always trying things, but it's just not paying off for him. He's giving the ball away far, far too much. Definitely needs to brush up on his passing. He needs to stop being so careless with the ball, getting dispossessed so easily. It is difficult, but it's a shadow of the Morgan Rogers we've seen last season, isn't it? I don't agree with the sarcastic jeers when he gives the ball away. Sorry, no, when he actually made a successful pass. He made a rare successful pass, and the Villa Park crowd did sarcastically jeer. I don't think that's going to help anyone. It's not going to help him. It's not going to help us. It's just not the answer. I understand people are frustrated. I'm frustrated with him watching him. He's quite difficult at the minute. He's giving the ball away all the time. Like I say, I do think Unai's not really doing him any favours by just trying to play him through it. I don't think he has to play through it. I think he did reference that in his post-game interview last night, Emery, about playing him through it. I don't think he needs to do that. I think he would have done him a favour by taking him off or not starting him last night. I think when he made those substitutions, I don't think Buendia and Marlon were the men to come off for me. I think Rodgers should have come off. I would have left Marlon on. I don't know if it's to do with fitness, but Watkins came on. It was same old, same old. He missed a penalty as well. He can't be taking penalties for Aston Villa anymore, guys. I think around this time last year, maybe a little bit later than this time last year, probably heading into that November, December period when I think Tielemans took the reins and he missed a penalty. And at that point, I was certain Watkins has to take him. He's your striker. He's your number 9. Well, Duran was the number 9 at that point, but he was our main striker. You have to trust your striker to take the penalties, but no longer, guys. I can't watch Ollie Watkins take another penalty for Aston Villa. I think he's missed half of his penalties he's taken, which just is really, really poor. Let's be honest. It's really poor from the spot. It was a terrible penalty as well, straight down the middle. I understand why he's looking to put it down the middle. Goalkeepers tend to always go one way or the other, but he hit it with no pace, no conviction. It was a comfortable save for the goalkeeper, who did dive, but he still got his feet to it. So it was a terrible penalty, but it sums up Watkins' season so far. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of questions about him. McGinn was asked about him, wasn't he? And what do you as captain, and what does the team need to do to lift his confidence? He answered it quite well. By just saying, basically, we don't need to. He's a great striker, and he doesn't need us telling him how good he is. But he needs something. I think a goal last night, even from the spot, would have really given him a kickstart and maybe got his season up and running, just like Aston Villa's. But it wasn't to be. I mean, he went through on goal. It was definitely a penalty. I'd like to have seen him put it away. The one-on-one, or as he was through on goal, but obviously he did get clipped and he did go down. Frustrating, but I mean, that's a question in itself. Who is going to be Aston Villa's penalty taker now? I think the reins have to go back to Jeered Tielemans once he's back fit. It's a bit of a problem. I never feel confident when Villa get a penalty. I never feel it's going to hit the back of the net. I really don't. I mean, since Douglas Luiz left, and even he missed his last one for Villa, didn't he? Ever since that, it just seems to have been a big problem from the spot. There's no confidence in Watkins to take one. Tielemans missed one. I don't think his record is great for Belgium either. I think he's missed a couple for Belgium, but I'm trying to think who else would be good at them. I mean, unless we see someone new try them. I mean, we saw Rodgers holding the ball. I think we all knew when Rodgers was holding the ball, he was always going to pass it to Watkins. I think when initially, a few years ago, Ashley Young did it, didn't he? And he held the ball, then give it to Danny Ings to take. That was the first time I've really seen that happen, but every team seems to do it now from there. And you just knew he was going to pass the ball to Watkins. But maybe Rodgers might have been a good opportunity for him to take one. Again, work on his confidence, build him up, because we need him. We need him back to his best. Him and Watkins are going to be the source for goals, and we need them firing. It's a big problem for us. So it'd be interesting to see what he does on Sunday afternoon against Fulham. Will he stick with Watkins and Rodgers? Personally, I think he will. I think he'll just keep playing them through it. I think Marlon was a bit of an experiment last night. I thought Marlon was impressive for the majority of that game, particularly first half. Like I said at the start of the video, I thought he was busy. I think he could have had a goal. Probably hesitated with one shot, if I remember rightly. Forgive me, I haven't watched it all back. But thinking of the game back, watching it at the time in the stadium, he hesitated to take one shot, but I was pretty impressed with him. I was really eager for him to have a good game and to potentially get a goal as well, because just to give us another option, another confident option to take that striker role if Watkins isn't playing. Buendia as well was another one to talk about. I thought like Marlon, I thought he was busy, lively, as you always expect from Buendia, but I thought he was quite impressive. And Emery seems to be to put a lot of faith in him, doesn't he, at the moment? He seems to be playing a lot of football, starting quite a lot of games, so it'd be interesting again to see if he starts. I actually thought we would see Sancho and Elliott, but as Unai does, he seems to bleed people in slowly. So I thought it would have been a good opportunity to see them two start. particularly Sancho. I was really eager to see Sancho start last night, but it wasn't to be. And I'm sure Unai's got his reasons for that. Gesson, again, another star. He's persisting with Gesson as well. I thought he was a little bit better yesterday. Again, in the first half, I do think Villa were better in that first half. He went on a couple of good runs. Again, sometimes his final ball is lacking, but I'm sure it will come. It will come with time. A little bit clumsy at times, to be expected. But again, better from him. More encouraging. I've got to say, it is more encouraging. Pau Torres is another one to mention. I thought he was a bit more like the Pau Torres we've seen of his first season, and Villa need to get back to doing what Unai initially came in and did, and that high line, we saw a bit more of that yesterday. Pau's distribution from the back was better, and look, Pau Torres is Unai Emery's man, isn't he? You know, he's the man he brought in. He was one of his big signings. He's almost referred to as Unai Emery's son. So you've got to say, it's a little bit concerning when he doesn't play. So it's like, is it Unai losing faith in his own method by not playing Pau and persisting with Mings? So it wouldn't surprise me if we do see Pau Torres again on Sunday, because Tyrone Mings did fall asleep a little bit for that goal against Sunderland. The Sunderland equaliser, watching it back, he played them on side, didn't he? So that might just give Pau the edge going into Sunday, potentially. I've been quite honest and said I would like to see Mings and Konsa be the pair. But I'm more encouraged by that performance by Pau, and I wouldn't be against seeing him play, especially at home. I think at home games suit him better against Fulham, so it would be interesting to see. But yeah, Marco Bizot, again, does deserve a mention, doesn't he? I thought it was a really good performance from him. It's great having confidence in your backup goalkeeper, isn't it? It really is. I mean, if you compare him to Olsen, I don't like to keep digging out Olsen. We did it enough for 3 years. He did give us a lot of reason to, but Marco Bizot is a huge upgrade on him, isn't he? Absolute huge upgrade. And to be honest, if Martinez isn't playing, I'm quite confident with Bizot in there. I really am. I'm not saying I'd start him ahead of Martinez. I wouldn't. I think Martinez is the superior goalkeeper by far. But Marco Bizot is a good option. He really is. He really is a good goalkeeper. He made a particularly good save towards the end, didn't he? That header that looped over. He was at full stretch and kept that one out. And that was pretty much the last action of the game, wasn't it? So I was really impressed with him. Again, if you look at the FOTMob ratings, all that kind of stuff, if that kind of stuff interests you, he did take the man of the match rating. But for me, I think, thinking about it, I do think Kamara was the best player last night. But yeah, really impressed from him. Martinez is another story in itself. I mean, a bit strange with him. He was out yesterday. I think it was just a small injury. I don't think it'll keep him out for the weekend. It's just like, I don't know. It's like he'll play the weekend and then he'll sit out the cup game and then come back in. I don't know. I find it a bit odd. It was like he didn't feature in the Brentford game. Obviously, I assume he was just rested for that one, but then he'll come back in. He seems to be like a game in, a game out at the moment. So it's a little bit strange, but probably reading a little bit too much into it. I don't think it's anything to really worry about. He's here to stay. He's not going to be going anywhere now. So I don't think it's anything to do with that. But yeah, there's not too much more to say on the Bologna game, is there? Other than what I've covered. I do think Villa could have and maybe should have won more convincingly. The big disappointment is Watkins missing the penalty. Rodgers, the fans getting on his back. And then it was brought up, wasn't it, by TNT? I actually haven't watched the interview. I've just seen kind of text taken from it or quotes taken from it. I think Martin Keown asked Konsa about that, and yeah, it's not a great look. It's not a great look, and it probably a difficult question for Konsa to answer. But yeah, I think we're better than that as fans. Like I say, I do understand the frustration with Rodgers, but it's not going to help him. I think sometimes we do forget how young he is as well. He is a young lad. Like, he's making his way in the game. You've just got to be patient with him. But I do think it's more on Emery to take him out for one game, maybe bring him on from the bench. I think that could have a positive impact for him, and he could come on and have an impact. And then he's back firing and starts the next one. But I think Emery's, I don't know. I don't want to say hanging him out to dry, but he's just putting him out and like, go on, just play your way through it. I do think at his age, he just needs coming out a little bit because there's options there. Harvey Elliott's in there. I would like to have seen more of him yesterday. Buendia is an option, of course. You can be quite fluid with those forward roles with Sancho and Gesson and Marlon, an option too. So I don't think he needs to keep playing him through it, but he does seem adamant that is what he's going to do. So, I think that's pretty much everything covered from the Bologna game. He's picking 3 points up in the league now, and we'll take a little look at that Fulham game coming up on Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff. Really looking forward to it. Villa slight favourite. Well, yeah, Villa are favourites for that game. But taking a little look at Fulham's start to the season. They've played 5, they've won 2, they've drawn 2, and they've lost 1. So a good start to the season for Fulham. I think you know what to expect with Fulham. They're going to be middle of the road, aren't they? They're probably going to have a decent push in the first half or the first 3 quarters of the season. There'll probably be talk of Europe. And then they'll drop like a stone towards the end of the season, and they'll end up probably around 9th, 10th, 11th, won't they? That's not to discredit them. They might go on to do better, but they're just a very middle-of-the-road club. Don't seem like they've got any ambition to try and get into Europe. But they're a good side, they are. I think Villa have a cracking record against them. I recall us... we beat them twice, didn't we, last season? Let's take a little look at that. We beat them at Craven Cottage, didn't we? When Jadon Philogene got sent off, we beat them. Was it 2? I think it was 2-1 in the end. And the season before, I recall us winning there. I remember that was on my birthday, going down there for that one. That was a great day. We won. I think it was 2-1 that day. Watkins scored. Did he score 2? I think he did score 2 that day. It was red hot at that time, but. A couple of really good performances, and of course we beat them towards the back end of the season at Villa Park, 1-0 with that Yuri Tielemans header. It was quite an early goal, wasn't it? And Villa saw the game out. So it's you can't help but fancy. It's good opposition for Villa to get 3 points at home, on home turf. I think we have to. I don't like to go into the must-win territory too early into the season, but I think it's not must-win in terms of like, oh my God, we're going to get relegated if we don't win this game. Like, no, it's not that drastic. But if you want to keep your European hopes alive through the league, through the Premier League, and achieving that directly through that, it is a must-win. Villa are already losing a lot of ground. On the sides, you'd look at us to be competing with. I mean, the likes of Spurs, they're on 10 points. Bournemouth are on 10 points. Crystal Palace, I wouldn't say they go under the radar, but their form over the start of this season and the end of last season is brilliant. I don't think they've lost, or they've lost very few games over a long spell. As we know that better than anyone else. Bloody hell! I mean, they've probably beat us 3 times in that spell I'm talking about. But yeah, Chelsea 8 points. You know, we can make up this ground. I mean, if Villa can go and get 3 points Sunday, that takes us to 6 points. That'll probably push you up to around 14th, 13th. Then you go and beat Burnley the week after. Suddenly you're on 9 points. The world's looking a lot nicer place again. But Villa have to do that, and that is a lot easier said than done. And we'll need to do it because the tougher fixtures will come. As I've mentioned in previous videos, it's Spurs away after, it's Man City at home. They're tougher fixtures. I wouldn't put it past Villa to go and win one or both of those games. I don't see it at the minute, but Villa are capable. They definitely are. And over previous seasons, we have saved our best performances against better opposition. I mean, we've beat Man City twice in the last couple of seasons, back-to-back at Villa Park. And we even drew to them at home under Steven Gerrard. So it's not a game you'd look at and think, oh God, Villa can't get anything from that. We definitely can. But these next 2 games for me, they're huge. They really are important. And I say next 2, obviously Feyenoord is sandwiched between them, but the 2 home games in the league now are really, really crucial towards Villa's season, and we need maximum points from them. And then, of course, Feyenoord, I didn't even realise that was coming up next week. It seems like they've changed the scheduling of the Europa League this season, doesn't it? Seem to have playing games, spacing the games out, like halving them, some last week, some this week. Same with the Champions League as well in there. And the Carabao Cup, they've split those games as well, haven't they? So the fixture schedule is busy for Villa now, isn't it? Ahead of that international break, and I think Feyenoord, just quickly, we'll talk about this game as it comes, but I think did they lose last night? On Wednesday they lost to Braga, so I think they've started their season brilliantly in Eredivisie. They're top of the league. They've won 5, drawn 1 on 16 points, so their league form is brilliant, but started off badly in the Europa League. So it's still a game I expect Villa to go and get something from, but as I say, we'll talk about that as it comes. We'll focus on this Fulham game for now, and hopefully Villa can get 3 points and get our Premier League campaign up and running as we've got our Europa League campaign. But I think getting that first win, so important, so important, and it's a bit of a monkey off the back, isn't it? Alleviates some of the media pressure on Villa and some of the media. Not that will affect, I'm not sure that won't affect Unai Emery and the team, but us as fans, we do get annoyed by it, of course, seeing Villa spoken about in a negative light all the time. We don't want that. We don't want to be languishing around the bottom of the table. Hopefully that will give Villa the springboard to go and get another 3 points. And the Villa Park crowd needs to play its role Sunday again. Get behind the team. Let's help them get 3 points. Let's not jeer our players. Let's not give them sarcastic cheers. Let's get behind them. Whatever team Unai picks, I think he will go with Rodgers again. I think he'll go with Watkins. I don't see him coming away from that. And we just have to get behind it. And hopefully Sunday's the day that they get back firing. But as always, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Did you go last night? What was your thoughts on the game? Do you think that's going to kickstart Villa's season? Are we going to go and win our next few games? Now we're going to win on Sunday against Fulham, Feyenoord next week, and then Burnley on the next weekend. So bring it on. Like I say, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. And as always, we'll end it with a big up the Villa.